How's it going, everybody? Cameron here, it's Canadian Gamer, coming at you with another video. I'm going to try to shoot this bad boy in 4K today. As it turns out, took a look at my Sony Vegas software last night, and it does actually have 4K rendering capabilities, so we'll see how that turns out. So today we're going to talk about, and we're not going to go too far into this today, but we're going to talk about the Mafia series, one of my most favorite, cherished video game franchises of all time. Now, as you can see here, I've got the original Mafia for the original Xbox, Mafia 2, the collector's edition for the 360, and I've got Mafia 3. So Mafia 3, it's kind of like the Godfather movies, right? We don't talk about part 3. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because, as some of you guys and gals know, I recently picked up Mafia Definitive Edition, and man, oh man, I'm absolutely blown away by this. So I managed to pick it up for $26, I think, from EB Games of all places. So in Canada, some of the EB Games have been rebranded as EBX. I don't know what that really refers to, but that's where I picked this up. But then I went on to Best Buy's website a couple of days ago, and I saw this is actually $20 there. $20 Canadian, that's a fucking steal. I was waiting for this to go on sale, and man, it didn't disappoint. And you know, a lot of you guys know I'm not crazy on this era that we're in, where there's constant remasterings of games that don't necessarily need to be remastered. Well, this is one of those rare occasions, and I can't believe I'm saying this about 2K. This is like a love letter to the fans of the series. They completely overhauled the original Mafia. Now, I can understand why they overhauled the original Mafia and not maybe Mafia 2 and Mafia 3, because the original Mafia, I think it was done by a different dev team, but it's a radical departure from Mafia 2 and Mafia 3 as far as the graphics are concerned. It's pretty old at this point. The game came out in, I think, 2002. Whereas Mafia 2, that's where sort of 2K, might have been 2K Czech, stepped in and really gave it an overhaul. And really, that's really what pushed the game into the masses as far as I'm concerned. That's the first one I actually played, was Mafia 2. And then Hangar 18 got involved with Mafia 3. We won't really go into that one. I played Mafia 3 for a bit, and then I sort of backed away from it. I didn't like it. It felt like it was too action-oriented, which is a crying shame, because the game has all the characteristics that I would actually, love to see in a video game. It takes place around the Vietnam era. I think maybe around the Ronald Reagan? No, maybe before that. Ronald Reagan's the 80s. It's got great music. It's got those cars from the 60s. It's got everything going for it, but I just couldn't get into it. I might go back and revisit it. But today we're talking about Mafia Definitive Edition. Now, I haven't completed it yet. I'm about 65% completed the game. I think there's about 21 missions, and I'm on like the 11th or the 12th mission right now. So I'm having a blast. 2K really gave this game a complete overhaul, a nice sheen. You're seeing some incredible graphics in the game. The graphics are similar to that in style of Mafia 2 and Mafia 3, but the game looks better than both of those titles. And it's just really nice that they didn't give us just sort of like a remaster. They completely remade the game, and there are some things in the game that are somewhat different from the original game if you played the original back in the day. It still has the frustrating mission where you have to get in the race car and go around the track. It's as frustrating as ever. But playing this game, man, it's going to be hard for me to ever go back to the original Mafia. That's how good this is. I don't know if it's better than Mafia 2, because Mafia 2 has that incredible story, but it's really good, guys. I'm not just saying it. I'm having a blast. This game was made for me. It's just fantastic. And it's kind of like a semi-open world, but not fully open. So you can play story mode where it goes from mission to mission to mission, and you're not really out in the open world. But there is an option for you to do free roam where you can go out and there's collectibles that you can find throughout the world. So there's even a 7 gigabyte patch that they introduced when I went to install this game. And there's a noir feature where you can turn it on and it makes the game black and white. So it's just really nice. I like to see those things introduced to a game. Gives it, a little bit of added TLC that the developers were thinking of us gamers in mind when they did that. And another thing that I really like about this game, and I'm pretty sure the other Mafia games were similar, you can really interact with the environment. And so this was a problem for me with Doom 2016. I know I'm going a bit off track here, but Doom 3, you could interact with the environments. You could shoot a light in the sky and it would go back and forth. It would jangle. The lights would go out. You could shoot a body on the floor and it would explode. Whereas Doom 2016, the environments weren't interactive like that. You couldn't just break things, shoot a brick wall and see a bit of it kind of crumble off. Well, with Mafia, that's the same thing. It has interactive environments that you can really interact with. So, like, if you see a light bulb, like I said, you could pull out a sniper rifle or a Tommy gun, and you can shoot the light bulb, and the bulb goes out. And I really like that aspect in a video game when you can interact with the environments. It just gives it that little bit more of immersion. So I really like that a lot. The game is long enough that there's no complaints for me whatsoever as far as how long it's going to take me to finish it. And it's a nice companion piece to Mafia 2. But the graphics, I guess some of the animations look like they might have been carried over from Mafia 3, which is the more recent of the games, right? Interesting to note, Mafia 2, there's a definitive edition that was released as well at the same time as this. And Mafia 2, the definitive edition, it was my understanding, it was just basically the 360 game upscaled in 4K resolution. My oh my, was I wrong. I watched a video today from the channel there, Nick. I think it's Nick930. I think that's what his channel is called. And he compared Mafia 2, the original, to the remastered Mafia 2. And man, it looks a hell of a lot better, to be honest with you. Oh, and just to add, one problem with Mafia 2, at least on the Xbox 360, and I imagine on the PS3 as well, it's hard to go back and play it in 2021 because it is starting to show its age. A lot of those older games from the 7th gen would have a lot of screen tear, and Mafia 2 has a lot of screen tear. I don't know if the definitive edition has any screen tear. If I had to guess, it probably doesn't. But if you go back and watch Nick 930's comparison video, and I'll leave a link to that in the pinned comment below, you can see 2K actually did enhance a lot of the textures in the game. They improved a lot of the facial characteristics. The hair looks a lot better on the characters. The way the eyes move. There are some things that it's questionable whether or not they made it better in the definitive edition of Mafia 2, but for the most part, it does look better. So this brings me to the last thing I want to talk about here. We're right at the almost the 9-minute mark. Apparently, I didn't know this. I haven't heard anyone else talk about this. By the way, I was interested in getting the Mafia 2 definitive edition, but it was only a digital download. Same goes for the Mafia 3 definitive edition, which doesn't really have much differences to this one, aside from the fact that you get all the DLC included. So the reason why I say that is because as of September 25th, a couple of days ago, there's a trilogy pack that got a physical release for the Xbox One and the PS4. I didn't fucking know this. Apparently it's like $55 Canadian. So you can imagine, convert that to US, you're looking at what is that, 30, $35? So you could get all three on individual discs, Mafia 1, 2, and 3. You're getting all the DLC on Mafia 2 and Mafia 3. And you're getting the enhancements on Mafia 2. You're getting all that on the fucking disc. So, man, oh man. Had I known, I don't know. It comes in a nice box too, nice artwork. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy. I've got the collector's edition of Mafia 2, right? And I got the original Mafia for the Xbox. It's pretty nice to have. And as far as Mafia 3 is concerned, I'm not crazy on it, so do I need all the DLC? But for any of you guys out there that don't have these games, or maybe you are thinking about enhancing your upgrading your collection or enhancing what you had, the definitive edition, if you were on the fence about it because they were digital downloads for Mafia 2 and 3, now you can get them. A physical release just came out. Fuck me. So that's it. That's my initial impressions on Mafia Definitive Edition. I can't believe Hangar 18 went out of their way to sort of give us a little bit of fan service. The graphics are absolutely fucking incredible in this game. They didn't skimp out. It is glitchy. I have had it crash on me a few times. I had a few times where it wouldn't boot back up. I had to reboot my Xbox. Let's see, what else did we have? Issues where like you're driving around a car trying to get away from the cops, and the NPC, your buddy's in the passenger seat, and then at one point I got out to get in a faster car, and he didn't come with me. I got in the other car and drove back to my safe house, and my character kept talking like his buddy was still in the passenger seat. He looked like a schizophrenic. So other than that, though, I mean, there are some frame rate issues. I've had it sort of slow down quite a bit, thinking to myself, how is this happening on an Xbox One X? But who knows, maybe the graphics, you know, the lighting effects that they've incorporated into the remake, and some of the reflections that they've done, some of the God rays, maybe that's what's slowing the game down. But yeah, absolutely incredible. This is the remake that I like to see. And you know, like I said, sometimes I'm not crazy when they fuck around with the original game and they change things. But this is like an exception where they definitely, in my opinion, they definitely made it a better game. So, yeah, pretty fucking stoked about that. So I'm going to leave it there, right about the 12-minute mark. Any of you guys play the Mafia Definitive Edition? What are your thoughts on it? Did you guys know about the new trilogy combo pack that's been released? Are you going to pick it up? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.